So today I will be adding hit types to my game for attacks to make them feel less flat and more dynamic, and have the enemies be able to react for the hit type. It's a lot. Okay, so now we're going to add enum classes. So first, I'm going to add normal for our normal damage for every weapon. Second, we're going to add weak point for weak point damage. I'm going to add heavy for any type of heavy attacks. And then we're going to add dodge counter for when the player dodges an enemy's attack. So now, this isn't identified. What? Oh, oops. So, save. And then we are going to, in our apply damage function, we are going to add hit type to our function. Oops, that's I didn't do that in the header. So we've now added our hit type to be an input in our function. We'll control save that. Now, in our C++ file, what we will do is after the if is dead and or if is invisible, we will do switch hit type. So then that will be for the case if the weak point is hit, meaning that the stagger amount of each weapon is times 1.5. When the weak point is hit heavy, it is around the same thing. So the stagger amount is the stagger amount times 1.25. So now when dodging, no matter the weapon, when dodging you can get a multiply of 1.25 your current damage. And then last case will just be your normal hit, which will just do normal damage. Now what this does is in our blueprint, so now we're gonna have to replace our applied damages, because now, as you can see, you can check the hit types. Apply damage here. This is a weak point hit. That takes your stagger amount and multiplies it. And down here, we got damage amount, stagger amount. That's normal. If you compile, this should still ideally run. So attack should work, damage should work, testing weak point. So the pink color of the enemy is the weak point being hit. I am adding a boolean called can dodge counter so that I can determine in the received damage whether or not I can dodge counter. So at the start of dodge, I set can dodge counter to true, and at the end, I set it to false. So this is what this will be. We'll just shove it down here, and then this will just go up into here. Can dodge counter. And we'll just attach that into here. Okay. So I figured out the problem. I did some things off camera because I wanted to test it to make sure. But now these apply damages work properly, the enumerates work as they should, just like how they work in the C++ in combat stats, where it does this math here for each enumerate. So if we look back here, we get increased stagger, damage, and all that stuff. What I did wrong was that I put this branch right here that still checks the invincible value. I put this branch into false. When it's checking, this is checking the player, if the player is alive. Meaning that I put this into false and it wouldn't run outside of that. So I needed to put it into true, and then I needed to put I have these upside down, but at least visually. But this false pin here connects to your normal damage output, and this true pin here connects to your dodge counter output, or your dodge counter damage. And the same thing for your weak point. I didn't change much in here. It's pretty much the same for the player. I just need to change the enemy. The enemy works fine. Now, with this, since invincible checks you should be able to not mess up my game. You should be able to see that I don't keep doing that button. Now, in a dodge counter, as can be seen, that I'm using usually does 40 damage, but now it does 50 damage, which means that the enemy dies in 2 hits. Next time I will add damage amount to both weak point and heavy, and stagger amount to the dodge counter. And thank you so much for watching.